Hey, what's up, dudes? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Fatal Fury video. We've got the beta. We played the beta. The beta's good, right? The gameplay, it's crisp. Dude, the art style, the art direction, the graphics of the game. One of the best looking fighting games I played in a hot minute. I actually think it looks better than Street Fighter 6. It looks really good. It plays good. I think the movement's a little bit clunky, but it feels good outside of that. The moves, when they hit each other, it's very punchy, like you feel like you're actually hitting someone. Overall, to say it, like, go pre-order this game, support this game, let's get this game hype, let's bring a lot of people in, let's put SNK where they deserve to be in the limelight. Let's do for this game what people did, what everybody did for Guilty Gear Strive. I think it deserves it. It's a good fighting game, but I think it does have one major problem that's really bothering me. After a few hours of playing the game, playing the open beta earlier yesterday for you dudes, I've walked away with one super frustrating thing that I couldn't help but talk about. I went back and forth. I've already recorded this once. I felt like I was too rambly, but it's just one major problem that I have right now, and that is the accessibility, right? So this beta has a tutorial mode. The tutorial mode is ass. Let's be honest. The tutorial mode is complete butt cheeks. It shows you the buttons that you need to press for the specific mechanics, but it doesn't show you anything outside of that. And I think in the modern age of fighting games, that's really bad, right? We are in an age to where Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, I think even Tekken 7 had a really good one, MK11, MK1. They were really accessible fighting games in the aspect that they had great tutorial modes, and they showed people how to play that specific brand of fighting game, whether it was a Street Fighter, a Tekken, or a Mortal Kombat. Those are the big three. And talking about Guilty Gear Strive, I'm pretty sure it even had a really good training mode. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves does not. It is not a very good training mode at all, dude. I walked away from it still not knowing shit. I've put maybe 30 minutes into a previous Fatal Fury game, and that was about 2 weeks ago. Didn't really learn anything there either, but that's fine. That's a classic game. I feel like modern fighting games are getting better about teaching people how to play the game, and that's a really good thing. We don't have the arcades anymore to where you can go and you can chill with a bunch of people who, 6 times out of 10, someone there is going to know how to play the fighting game, and you can learn some shit from them, right? We're in the age of, if you don't know how to do it, the game will teach you, or if the game doesn't teach you in a situation like this, you have to go scour YouTube and everything else. And it's just, that aspect of it, scouring YouTube, is kind of a nuisance, right? Compared to, like, just being able to access the fighting game, the fighting game's tutorials, and it show you how to play. I think the major problem with it is, and it's also an upside for the game, it's got a lot of mechanical depth to it. Like, there are a lot of mechanics in this game. It's kind of an overwhelming of mechanics, to be completely honest. Like, very overwhelming. And the fact that the tutorial mode only shows you, like, hey, these are the buttons. It doesn't show you, like Tekken 8, like, situations to where they would be used. Nothing like that. It gives you a short script of just, like, really basic knowledge, and then it gives you an input to do. And I just don't think that's very good. The game, the franchise, hasn't been around for 26 years, dude. And you're at a point to where you're really trying to get this game to sell well. You're trying to pull people in. The fighting game community is bigger than it ever has been at this point, especially in a competitive aspect, with Street Fighter 6 on its first Evo having 6,000 plus entrants, dude. Like, it's as hype and as big as it ever has been, and you definitely want to pull these people in. The problem with that is the people who are playing Street Fighter 6, the majority of the population for the competitive scene at this point are people who started playing fighting games at Mortal Kombat 11 or Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6, in my opinion, and we'll talk about this in another video, is so popular because MK11 was so popular. And MK11 sold like over 15 million copies, and that was because the game was so accessible. It was one of the most accessible fighting games to ever come out. Like, it showed people how to play the fucking game, dude. And it was great. And it pulled a lot of people into the FGC. And those people were like, hey, let's try Street Fighter 6 out. And it ended up being really good, So a lot of people have come over. But the problem lies therein of Street Fighter 6 shows you how to play the game too. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves does not do any of that. And I feel like it's a major problem. If you're releasing a game in the modern age of fighting games with all of these other fantastic practice modes and tutorial systems, you really got to come hitting, especially if your franchise hasn't been around for 26 years. You know, a lot of people didn't play King of Fighters 15. That game didn't sell very well. And one of the primary reasons was because the online was buoy when the game first came out, and that kept a lot of people away. So, like, you're having a lot of people like me coming into, even though I've been playing fighting games for 10 years at this point, I played most of the mainline fighting games that have come out. Fatal Fury hasn't been around for 26 years. I don't know how to play this fighting game. And it was a very frustrating experience, only, like, learning the buttons and, like, here's how to make the mechanic happen. But it didn't teach combos or anything else. I would almost rather we got a practice mode and a combo trial for, like, each of the characters that are in the beta instead of, like, the tutorial mode, right? Because I feel like a lot of people can learn based on combo trials and shit like that, which mechanics to use. But at the same time, there's so much mechanical depth with this game, you almost need that tutorial mode. If they were going to release the beta with the tutorial mode, I don't see why they didn't just go full ham and, like, be like, we're going to try to bring in as many people as we can. This is why we're doing the open beta. This is why it's free. This is why everybody can play it. We want to get people hyped for this game. So let's put practice mode, combo trials, and a tutorial system in the beta to, like, really show people how to play Fatal Fury and show them that it's fun. Because I have a lot of patience for fighting games. I really do. I get frustrated and mad, but I will keep playing. I will keep trying to learn, even with my losses. But with the tutorial system in the game in this open beta not showing me hardly shit, I was getting really frustrated. Because it's like, I am losing and I don't know why. These other people are doing these things and I don't know how to do them because the game hasn't told me. And I don't have 3 hours. I have like an hour and a half, 2 hours while my kids are taking a nap to try to play a little bit of this beta and see how I like it, right? And so, like, I don't have 2 hours where I can go scrounge YouTube and Twitter to try to figure out, like, the basic mechanics and how they interact, you know, in a second-to-second match, right? It took me, like, 20 minutes to figure out how to actually form a combo. And that was a super frustrating aspect of it. Like, you have a tutorial mode and you're not even showing people how to link moves. Like, yeah, you show them how to cancel with rock, but you're not showing the fact that, you know, you have to do a special move and then another special move, which can cancel into another special move or super or whatever, you know, like the access of it. Or rocks is actually, you do a special move, down back, both kicks, and he takes off running, and you can either do one of two things, which one's like a side switch, I think, and the others, you can slam them down and they bounce off the ground. Whatever. It doesn't show you how to do any of that shit. You have to figure it out. And it was super, super frustrating. It's like, why do you have a tutorial mode in the game if you're not showing these very basic aspects that people need to know how to play your fighting game? And one of the main arguments, and obviously it's going to be, like, you're going to see it in the comments section, like, just scroll down, right? It's going to be, well, this is how people learned classic fighting games. Like, get used to it, you know, welcome to our world. This is how we learned in the arcade. And it's like, that's cool. That's fine. That's good. That's how I learned a lot of fighting games. But we don't have to learn fighting games like that. We have fighting games that are coming out with these incredible practice modes and tutorial systems that are showing you how to play a fighting game. Long gone are the days of sitting in practice mode for 8 hours, watching hundreds of YouTube videos to try to figure out basic structure of the game, right? Like, the games are actually teaching us this shit now, and that's fantastic. You know why the fighting game community is so big? You know why your favorite fighting games are doing so well? It's because they are adding these accessibility aspects, features that are bringing in all these casual players, which in turn is giving the fighting game more funding to put into the game and make the game better. That people need to understand that. Without these systems, we would still be Street Fighter V, MKX, you know, where, like, these games are selling like 1 to 2 million copies. MKX is kind of like an outlier because it sold a lot more than that. But, like, MK9, as good as people remember that game being, like, in its lifespan, it only sold like 3 million copies. I think we all think Street Fighter 6 is at the point where it sold like 10 million copies. No, dude, it's only sold like 3 to 4 million copies. Even as hype as it is, you know, like, if we want to keep growing and keep building and keep these numbers going up, we need to keep these fighting games accessible, right? We need to have these good tutorial modes, and most fighting games have them. I'm really at a loss as to why a franchise that hasn't been around for 26 years that has a tutorial system in their open beta doesn't have a better tutorial system. I'm lost, bro. I'm lost. Why add it if you're not showing people how to play the game? With that being said, that is one small critique. Yes, I was able to make a 10-minute video about it. That's because I like to talk. In reality, this is one small critique on a fantastic fighting game. I am at the point with the beta where it's like, okay, the game's not showing me much. I have 2 kids. I'm married. My wife just had surgery. I don't have time to go scrounge YouTube for hours and hours to try to figure out how to play this game in depth. I'm going to wait on full release. I'm going to buy full release Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, and I guess I'm going to learn how to play it there. And I'm going to have to learn with some YouTube videos, with some watching videos on how to play the game when I'm going to bed, so I have time, you know, whatever. That's what I'm going to have to do. Unfortunately, because their tutorial system is ass. But it's just one small blemish on an overall fantastic game. The game looks great, it feels good to play, it's flashy as hell, it's got mechanical depth, which is an upside and a downside when your tutorial system is ass. But it's got the mechanical depth, and it really looks like it's going away from what Street Fighter 6 is doing, and Tekken 8 is doing. It looks like we're not going to be relying on universal mechanics for our character to be good. It looks like it's going to be a character-to-character basis, and I feel like that's a good thing, you know, in my personal opinion. But I want you dudes to let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. How do you feel about this topic? Do you think the tutorial system is ass? Do you think it's fine? Skill issue, get good? You should have learned like us in the arcade, buddy. Get better. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please give the video a like. If you want more discussion-based content around fighting games and other games, subscribe to the channel. But my name's Tootin. I've been your host, and I will see you dudes next time. Peace out.